Hello students. So today we are going to learn about connecting VB.NET and Oracle. So for this purpose I have used Visual Studio 2012 in the first place. So let's see how to open a new project here. First go to File, click on New Project. Choose Visual Basic here and select Windows Form Application. Then you can click on OK. As soon as you click on OK, you are going to get a screen like this. Now, you can go to Toolbox here and design your form as per your requirements. So today, I'm going to take a label and name it student name. Then take a text box and place it here. Then take another label student registration number. Then place another text box. Come to button. Let it be a simple submit button here. Okay, so now we have done a basic form design here. Coming to the database. As I have mentioned at the beginning of the video that we are trying to connect to Oracle database here. So I'll just show you how I have done that. Come to Server Explorer here. Okay, just select Server Explorer. Come to Data Connections. Right click on that. Come to Add Connections. After you click on Add Connections, you are going to get a window like this. I have clicked Change just to show you. So all these data sources are present here. From those I have selected Oracle database. Okay, so I'm saying for you, if you have installed Oracle in your system, you are going to get the first two options. Okay, the third option will not come by default, but when I tried to do it in my system, I got some errors. That is why I have downloaded ODAC with ODT. I'll give the link in the description box. So what happened is that 32-bit Visual Studio installed on a 64-bit machine. So it could not connect to 64-bit Oracle. That is why, there were some issues initially. If you are also using 64-bit machine like me, then, you can just go for this. So after I'll just show you 1 second. After you install the software, I'll just go to the, Yeah. So this is the website from where I have actually downloaded it. And you can see here that there are multiple options, okay? For downloading the ODAC, we are getting multiple options here. From that, I have selected the last one, okay, students? So there is a specific reason why I selected the last option here. If I come back to my Visual Studio, you can just go here. I'm going to help, okay? Just to show you about the about Microsoft Visual Studio here. So if you come here, you can just see the version on top, right? So it is 11.0 point something, okay? So that's why after going to that particular website, this was the closest version I found out, 11.2.0. So I have just, installed this, okay? You can see, right? There is a zip file here. I have just installed that, and I'll just try to show you. I had got a zip file like this. Okay. Uh, I had just got a zip file like this. And just a second. Yeah. So, I had just got a zip file like this. If I double click on the zip file just to show you, okay. Uh, okay. So if you click on the, if you unzip that particular zip folder, you will get a setup.exe here. Can you all see here? That is the third one. Okay. So in this setup.exe, just, double click on that and click on next, next, next. It's very easy to install. And as soon as you are done with the installation part, what will happen? Now if you are clicking on data connection here, okay, if you select Oracle database, you will get the third option from here. Okay, so there were some issues as I mentioned. So that's why I have, this is an extra step which I have done. But in your system, if, it is compatible, then it's okay. You can go ahead with the two existing options. Okay. Just I thought of showing you because I think most of you are also using, 64-bit machine like me. So I thought of showing you once. Okay. So what I have done is that I have selected the third option. So data source is Oracle database, data provider is Oracle data provider for .NET. Okay, so this is what I have selected. Okay, so after this we are clicking on OK here. Okay, here. Now after clicking OK, we are getting a screen like this. Okay, now we need a few things here. Like the first thing which we need is data source name. Okay, so basically the data source name here is the, so we are connecting VB to Oracle here, right? So we need the Oracle data source name here. So for that there are a few steps which you need to follow. So first of all, go to command prompt. Okay, so just go here and type cmd, open the command prompt. Okay, so I am assuming that you have already installed Oracle in your system. Okay, so after this just type this particular command. Okay, then press enter. Now through this command, actually this command is used to find the status and the ports, and as well as the names of the name of the Oracle server. Okay, so we are going to use TCP here. Okay, so just copy, see here, okay, this part, protocol equal to TCP, host equal to desktop dash 82bnm1j. Okay, So what you need to do is that just find out where protocol is equal to TCP. Under that, just copy the host name. Okay, so I need this name, okay, corresponding to TCP. Just copy this and you can paste it here. So that is your data source name. Okay. And now in place of username and password, so while installing Oracle, okay, mm, it would have asked you for a username and password. I am using the same username and password here. Okay. If you want to create new users under that, you can anyhow do that. I'm not complicating things here. So I am just using that username and password which I provided while I was installing Oracle in my system. So it is sys, and I'll not say the password. Whatever password you have used, you use the same thing. Okay, and then you can click on. Okay, so here in place of the role, just select sysdba. Okay, so sys is actually the default user here. Okay, now in as I just now mentioned, okay, that in case of sys, why I'm using sys DBA here, because I have not created any user under that. If you want to create, you can create, okay, but as I said to you, I don't want to complicate things for you. After that, just press test connection and one second, just a second, okay. Okay. Mm. So in place of user ID, I am writing sys. Uh, I am providing the password. Click on OK. Just test the connection. One second. So you can also see what I am doing to. As I said to you that I'll use sysdba here. So now you can see that test connection succeeded. Okay, so it's nothing much. Okay, so in place of the if that error comes for you too, you can just go to advanced settings and you can just provide the user ID, password, as well as you can change the DBA privilege to sys DBA. Okay, so I have not done much here. It can happen sometimes. Okay, so basically test connection succeeded should come here. Okay, so that is your main aim. So if it comes, you just click on OK here. Okay, after you click on OK, you can see that connection, okay, under your data connection. Just see the left hand server explorer part. Okay, so under data connection, I can now see my the connection which I have made now. Okay, so now just click on the small arrow here. Okay, if I click on the small arrow, I'll get these three options: schemas, roles, and snapshots. Again, you go to schemas here. Again, click on the small arrow. Okay, so we can see many options here, right? Just come down and see you have test in small. Okay, there you can just click again on the arrow. Okay, so under that you can see an option called tables, right? Now just right click on the tables and go to new relational table. Okay, right click on the option called tables and go to new relational table. Click on that. Okay. So after you click on that, you will get a window which looks like this. Okay. So you can change your column name and data type from here. Okay. So I'll just change my column name here. So according to the form which I had designed, okay, I have student name and student registration number. So since I'm trying to insert these two into my database, I'll create the table accordingly. So the first column name, okay, which I'm going to give is student name. Okay, so student name here actually is a text. Okay, but I'll keep it simple. Just remember that whatever columns you are creating, just choose varchar2. You see second last one, choose varchar2. Okay, let the size be 20. I guess it's fine. Then add it. Okay, fine. You can see now here, right? We have our first column here. Now I'm going to add another column. Okay, that is student registration number. Okay, again I'm going to choose varchar2 here. Okay, again let the size be 20. You just add it. Okay, so now you can see that we have, I can say, we have two columns right here. We have two columns here, and if you want a bigger name, okay, you can just increase here. Here you can see, right, that varchar2 2020. So since I did not change the size, it is coming as 20. If you want a bigger name, you can anyhow change this particular 20. Okay, now you can just go here, double click, and then I am just showing you, okay, how to change it. So I can anyhow change it to maybe 50. Okay, so then you can come down to the last one. This was the default column, right? So just remove it. Okay, now you can save your table. Okay, now you can see that I have a table called table 1. One second. Yeah, just go here and see. I have two columns here, right? Student name and student registration number. If you want, just rename the table to student. One second. Just a second. Okay, so to change the table name, you can just open that particular one second, just a second, go to the design. Okay, go to design, just open your design view, and now you can change it here. Okay, so I was trying to give a name, so I gave the name as student. Okay, and then you can save it. After you save it, you just go to the server explorer and check it. See, the name of the table is changed now. Now if I click on this, I have the two columns, okay, which I made. So now my table is made already. So my next step would be to insert values into the table via the form, right, which I have created just now. Okay, students. Okay. Uh, I had said to you to, create the table under small test. Okay. So please change it. Create the table under this test. Okay. Big test. So, capital TEST. Okay. Create the table under that. Otherwise, a process of creation of table is still the same. So I already created it, and you can see, right, everything is just it is still the same. Okay, now we have to go to form1.vb, where we have we had already designed this. So just go and double click on the submit button. Okay, now I am writing the code, just follow it. Okay. You have already studied VB, right? So you already know that dim is, used to declare variables, right? So we are just trying to retrieve the values, okay? What the user entered for text box 1 and text box 2. So text box 1 refers to the text box which is adjacent to student name, and text box 2 is the text box which is adjacent to student registration number, right? So I am just retrieving those two values and storing it into the variables name and IG. Okay. Now I'm forming the connection. One sec. Okay, so if you were to get the same error, you can just click on this import Oracle managed data access dot client. Okay. Now you can see on top, right, that it is already imported. I'm just forming the connection. So I have to you can just go to the you can see here, right, says desktop equal to, go to the server explorer. On the left you see I'm just hovering the cursor over that. Okay, so just after that you come to the right hand side and see the see under the properties. Okay, you can see the connection string. Just copy the connection string from there and then paste it, okay, within double quotes. Okay, I have pasted it within double quotes. Okay, and add the semicolon at last. Type password equal to says, okay, you have to type your own password, right? Since I had given the password says, I am typing that. This is the same password which you have set up while setting up Oracle. You had a username and password. Okay, so this is the same password. Okay, now team cmd as Oracle command equal to new Oracle command. Okay. This CMD is just, uh, an object name. can use any name, okay, of your choice. I have used cmd dot command text equal to. Now here you have to write the mm, SQL command, right? We all know the SQL command to insert any value into the table is insert into table name values. After that, you have to give all the values. Okay. Now here insert into, I wrote test dot student, right? Since I have created student table under capital test schema. That's why test dot student values. See, students, okay, since name is a text here, right? It's a string. That's why we have to keep it under single quotes. Just think about the SQL commands. You will remember. So here registration number also is a uh, string. Okay, that's why I have kept it inside single quote. Just please, I do one thing. I paste the code into the description box. Okay, so that you don't face difficulty while doing it. If you are inserting for any number values, okay, we can no need for you to give the single quote there. Since I have used string, I have used the single quote. Okay, and that plus is for concatenation. So since we want the value of the variable name to come into the command, that is why we have concatenated it using plus. If you don't use that plus, then it will come as the exact NAME name will be inserted, which we don't want. We want the value to come here. Right? We are opening the connection. Okay, I have kept it inside try block, since if we you know if any errors are there, runtime errors, those will be catched in the those will be caught in the catch. So if the value is inserted, it should show some message, right? So that message, okay, message box dot show, then you can write it. After that, under catch, again you can just write that it has failed to insert the data. Okay. And then this is what is displaying the exception. Okay. Then we are coming to finally, we know that irrespective of the fact whether a runtime error is there or not inside our try block, finally will always be executed. So in the finally I have closed the connection. Okay, so you can just follow the same code to insert the data. Okay, after this it is done, students. Okay, I just run this and check. For running, just go to start. You can give any student name here, test. Okay, I have given some registration number. If you click on submit, see it is showing data inserted successfully. Okay. Now, if you want to check, okay, whether the data is actually stored or not, you can just go to uh, student here. Go to retrieve data, and you can see, right? Just now we have inserted this value. So students, this is how we are inserting the data. Okay, students, so since we have come to the end of the insertion part, okay, I'll just, add one thing I forgot to tell you. Uh, okay, so when before you start to code, okay, before you start to write this code, okay, please make sure to follow one step, okay. Please go to the Solution Explorer. You see here, okay, right hand side. Under that Windows application 2, okay, that is the application which I have created. Just right click on that, okay, go to add reference, okay. Under that I have added a few reference here, okay. I'll just show you. See here, Oracle managed data access, Oracle data access. You can see, right, there are tick marks. So if you go there, before it was like this, okay. I have just clicked on this checkbox, okay. So I have selected Oracle data access, Oracle manager, sorry, managed data access, okay. So just follow this step. I forgot to tell you. Then click on OK, okay. After that you can start to code. So you have to add these two references before you start. So hope this video helps you. Thank you, students.